was talking to... I meant to say this on the radio this morning. I'll tell it to you guys, and then I'll mention it again on the radio tomorrow. So y'all get a sneak peek. So I was with a friend of mine over the weekend. And they were saying they were in a taxi with this guy from Mexico. Mm-hmm. And they had this crazy story. They said the taxi driver told him, have you ever been to Mexico City? And he said, yes, I've been to Mexico City. He goes, did you go see Our Lady Guadalupe? And he said, yes, I have seen Our Lady Guadalupe. And he said, well, do you know the story about the image of Our Lady Guadalupe? And he's like, of course I know the story of Our Lady Guadalupe. He goes, no. The story about Our Lady Guadalupe when they built the new basilica. And I was like, wait, what? What story? And so my friend's like, no, let me finish the story. And I'm like, no, dude, just let me get the punchline. So why are you drawing this out? I need to just tell me what happened. And he's like, no, I got to tell you a story. So after, and so now I'm doing it to you. So he says, the old basilica had the image of Our Lady Guadalupe put up, right? And whenever they built this new basilica, which looks like a spaceship, it's incredibly ugly, absolutely hideous. Honestly, it's insult to our Lady, to be honest. And they processed the image of Our Lady Guadalupe from the old basilica into the new basilica, right? So when they were doing that, they processed the image. They put the image up, and then that night, everybody went home. And they went in the next day. The image was gone.
What?
The image disappeared. And so everybody starts searching the cathedral or the basilica for the image, and they can't find it. They end up calling the police. So allegedly, there's a police report out there on this. So if someone can confirm the story, I'd be very grateful. The image disappeared. And so they're searching. The sacristan is like freaking out, and he's searching the sacristy and everywhere else trying to find the image. And someone alerts them that it's back up in the old cathedral. And the story is that the image left the old cathedral and appeared back in the new cathedral miraculously. Obviously, it could have been if someone could have stolen it and put it back up. That's possible. But they processed the image back over to the new basilica a second time. And it happens again. And so here's the thing. According to this taxi driver, and this is why I want to tell a story, because I want to see if anybody can confirm or deny the story, because this is the first time I've ever heard the story. According to this taxi driver, they left the true image of Our Lady Guadalupe, the Tilma, in the old basilica, because every time they move it over, it reappears back in the old basilica.
Huh.
And they left it there, and they just covered it. And in the new basilica, it's a replica of the Tilma.
Huh.
Isn't that interesting?
Checks out.
Right? Doesn't it? That's what I said. I was like, huh.
That's funny.
I don't know if it's true, but it's believable.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty believable. You know, when you go to Ireland, you know, one of the sites in Dublin that a lot of people want to go see is the Book of Kells. It's this wonderful, wonderful book. It's a manuscript with all kinds of gold illumination, and it's really a work of art. And you have to go into this library in Dublin to go see it. But what people don't realize is that you're not actually looking at the Book of Kells. You're looking at a reproduction. And it's the same with a lot of other pieces of renowned pieces of art, where they can only be exposed to the elements like the sunlight or the lights or things like that for a certain amount of time before it actually damages the painting. Right. So what they do is they make facsimiles of them and they put them up, and people don't know any better because they look exactly the same. And I wonder if the reason why the Tilma is, if this is true and the Tilma is like still at the old basilica, it checks out because Our Lady said, build this church here. This is the church that Our Lady... Oh my
goodness, that's a good point.
This is the church that Our Lady asked for, not the new one. She asked for it to be built there on Tepeyac Hill. That was the prerequisite for this miracle to happen. She wanted Juan Diego to go and get the bishop to say yes to building this church right then and there. So maybe that's why it's still there. I'm not sure. That's why I'm saying it's pretty believable.
That's a good point, too. I was just thinking she didn't want to be in that ugly cathedral. That's a good point.